Great. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Adoption Happy Hour brought to you by NAP. We are the National Association of Adoptees and Parents, where it is our mission to unify the adoption community and elevate our diverse voices by promoting dialogue, understanding, and healing through education, awareness, and connections. I'm Marcie Keithley, your board president and host for this evening, along with Jennifer Falsing in the Zoom room. She's going to be helping out with the recording. Beth Story, our other board member, is in Hawaii. How dare her? But yeah, she's having a really great time with her husband in Hawaii. So we wish them a great vacation. So we're honored that so many of you have decided to join us this Friday night. We know kids are back in school and a lot of things are going on. So it's just really, we're just excited that so many of you are here with us tonight to talk about Summit in 2023. And it's just been awesome. But before we start, Jen, do we have some housekeeping items? Okay, this is a reminder. This is a public meeting with no guarantee that information or identity is confidential. Portions of this event are recorded and will be shared in our private happy hour group on Facebook. So if you don't follow us there, please make sure that you do so you can see the replay. We want everyone to remain on mute. Raise your hand, or if you have a question, your virtual hand, you can post comments in the chat room. If you are experiencing a serious mental health event or suicidal thought, please contact a licensed professional or the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. This is a safe space, and it has been a safe space for over 2.5 years for all of you to come and meet us on Friday night at 7 p.m. EST. And we're just excited about that. So we want to continue to do so. Jen, do we have anything else before I dig in?
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. We want to talk about this past week, and we know that tonight is just kind of like a little bit of a hodgepodge. We have a summit called Untangling Our Roots that is going to be held in Louisville, Kentucky in next year in 2023, March 30th. And the April 1st of 2023. We have so much going on at the summit. This is the first ever where we're bringing 3 communities together. First ever. And we have guests coming from across the globe. So the last week, the co-founder and CEO of Right to Know, where NAP is collaborating with for this epic event, flew in. And Jennifer and Beth picked her up at the Indianapolis airport, brought her down to Southern Indiana, where I am, right across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. And they stayed at the Marriott Inn, where we're going to be having this event. And we did a lot of planning and talking and discussing. We just had a really great couple of days together. Jen and Beth were with us for a while, and then of course they had to go home. And Kara stayed with me. She was my house guest for 3 days. So we really had a lot of fun in Southern Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky. It's just, I'm right on the border. So we just thought we wanted to share some highlights from what to anticipate in 2023. And like I said, this video that was made, trust me, it's full of bloopers. We had a lot of fun, but we just wanted to let you know a little bit about Louisville, Kentucky, a little bit about the summit, and how much fun we're all going to have when we all come together in 2023. We want all of you, as many of you, there. So you're going to hear some highlights. Like I said, it's in some places it might be a little bit rough, but Kara and I just had a great time talking about the summit and the anticipation of this event. This has been going on for quite some time. We were introduced to this community. NAP has been introduced to this community by Leslie Pate McKinnon. And this, Leslie, and you can comment on this, this was your dream, right? Take yourself off mute. Let's talk a little, just briefly, a little bit about how you see how this could come together.
Oh, this is my dream. I turned 75 this year, and I said this was something I wanted to see happen before I slowed this baby down a little bit. But because I had a foot in each of the reproductive world and the adoption world, I just kept seeing how we were so aligned. I remember in the early days, the reproductive endocrinologists would say, oh no, it's nothing like that. It's not the same at all. You know, people are carrying their own babies now, but it is so much the same. And we do, I've laughed and said we are not laughed, it's really sad, but we share commonality in that we're both in these terribly unregulated, not very ethical entities that are about making the almighty dollar. And we all have suffered lifelong trauma as a result of it. So I figured if we could ever come together, we're stronger together. Our voices are stronger. We're working on legislation, both sides of us. The legislation is slightly different, but it's just slightly different. And I think we can have such a bigger impact. And so I was just scratching around one day and found Right to Know and went, wow, look what these people are doing. And, you know, and the rest is history. I'm so glad that this is going to happen.
Yeah, this is just really important for all three communities. And again, this is the first of its kind. And like Leslie shared with us, there's so many commonalities between the three communities. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Let's use what we can. Let's stand together. Let's raise our voices and let's do some reform. Let's let them know what's going on in these communities, and the public needs to be made aware of this. And that's one thing that we have also talked about as far as all the planning. We started planning this a year ago, and it's still going strong every Wednesday evening. A strong group of volunteers to talk about how we can bring these communities together in 2023. So we're going to have a lot of media exposure. We look to have a lot of media exposure there. So we're real excited about this. Kara will be joining us about 8 o'clock. That's usually when we do our Q&A. So, but I did want to share a little bit about her, a little bit about Kara, and then Jen will go ahead and play the recording that we made. Like I said, it's a little rough in places, but it's just to have fun and give you guys an idea of what to anticipate, okay? So Kara Rubinstein Deyerin, she is the CEO at Right to Know. She just got back from Louisville, Kentucky. I think she's still in Indianapolis. And we, like I said, we spent a couple of days together. This summit is uniting the adoption, the assisted reproduction, and non-paternal event communities into one amplified voice, advance awareness and education, seek truth and healing, and foster connections and understanding. She's had an MPE. She's a mom, a wife, a Jew, a writer, cook, knitter, and connoisseur of all things human. She was born and raised in Seattle, Washington, and married her high school sweetheart, and together they traveled a number of years before attending college. Kara went on to receive a BA, MA law degree from the George Washington University, and later an LLM from the University of Washington. She currently resides in Maple Valley with her husband and 3 lovely boys who constantly keep her on her toes. Any moment of free, quiet time she can find is spent storytelling, reading, cooking, and knitting. So again, she's going to be joining us at 8 o'clock, but I just wanted to let you know a little bit about her. So Jen, let's see what she came up with. I haven't even proofed this thing, so this is going to be a lot of fun.
And fingers crossed, because the video is not in the normal file that I get it. So fingers crossed. I'm going to give this a try. If there are any problems, let me know right away. So
One thing, we don't have volume, Jen.
Okay, I'm gonna try again. Tell me if you can see it now. Go back to the play button. Now I lost the play button.
Nothing.
Jen, up top, there should be on that bar, it should say share sound.
Yeah, I have that clicked. I share sound all the time. Let me stop the share and try it again. Share sound. Optimize video clip. Let's try this again. Okay, get that to go away.
Hey everyone. Hey everybody. It's us, Marcie and Kara, in the great state of Kentucky. We're in the Louisville. At least I can edit. It's okay. We're gonna just keep going. Louisville. We're in Louisville Marriott East Hotel, where we're going to be holding the first ever summit. That's going to be epic. 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 We're so excited. Yes. And look at this fabulous space where we're at. I'm so excited. I came here from Seattle and I got to tour around a little bit and do one of my favorite activities, taste whiskey. Yes, we had a great time. And actually, I'm just across the river. I reside in Southern Indiana. So this was hop, skip, and a jump for me. Yeah, we came so we could test out the hotel, make sure everything would be great for our summit in March of 2023. And Beth, Jen, and I spent the night here. Marcie lives close enough where she got to go home. This is a great place. It's very convenient, close to the airport. Very close. For those of you, all of you that are flying in. And speaking of flying in, we have some from out of the country too, don't we? Yeah, I can't believe it. We're going to have people coming from Australia and England. I'm sure there's some other people coming from Europe too. At least we know our presenters are coming from that far. Some of you all might come from that far too. But we're ready. We're getting ready. And we've been meeting for quite some time too. Yeah, not just today. It's been going on for over a year. The planning, we've been planning this for well over a year. Well over a year. And we still have a lot to go. We do. 40 presenters? At least 40 presenters. It's amazing. Entertainers, authors, podcasters, lots of workshops, panels, musicians, entertainers, so many people. Yeah. There's going to be something for everyone. We want all of the three communities represented. What is all about the three communities? Yeah. So we're really excited to bring together the adoption community, NAP, and the assisted reproduction community and the NPE or non-paternal event community. Our drinks are arriving. Thank you.
I didn't know if y'all were allowed or not. I wasn't gonna.
We're recording. It's all good. Cheers. Cheers. It's good, isn't it? So smooth. I'm so happy to be in the bourbon capital of the world. Yes, and she's definitely turned me on to this. Yes. Nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. Or the best. Right, exactly. Absolutely. Okay, so NPE, non-paternal event, sometimes that's a little confusing for people. Those are people who discover sometime in their life that their dad isn't their dad. And that can be from a one-night stand, an extramarital affair, an assault, or just some sexual encounter where the parentage, the paternity is obscured or hidden from somebody. And actually, there's some facts that go along with that, right? About how many people are in the country are affected by this. Yeah, we think that 5% of the population will discover that one or both of their parents are not genetically related to them. It's more than 16 million people in the US right now. That's a lot of people. A lot of people that need connections, they need resources, they need therapy, support. They need each other. They need us. They need community. They need you. You know, the other fact that I find interesting. What's that, Kara? 1 in 7 people have taken a direct-to-consumer DNA test like Ancestry, and a quarter of those people find close relatives.
Wow.
You know,
And what happens when they find out? Think of all those DNA surprises. Where do they go? What do they do?
what do you do? I mean, I know for me, when I had my surprise, I felt completely lost and alone.
Well, that's one thing you don't have to worry about with coming to Summit, right?
No.
Community. We got you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're gonna have so much time to hang out and have fun. Thursday night, we're gonna have drinks and hors d'oeuvres while everybody registers.
And a little bit of comedy too, I hear.
Well, we're gonna have I think we're gonna have Zara,
We'll have Zara Phillips.
and then we are really excited to have 3 super talented artists create something for us.
And yes.
Yeah.
That's one. Yeah, that is.
I can't wait to see what they come up with. Brian Stanton. Now
Brian Stanton is an adoptee and he created the stand-up, one-man stand-up play Blank. And also the documentary Ghost Kingdom.
I just have to say, I love that word Ghost Kingdom. I had never heard it before. And as an MPE, someone who found out she's the product of a extramarital affair, I felt a lot of those things, but I didn't have a word for it. Of course, the adoptee community already had one, but I know a lot of donor conceived people and other people with the MPE who love that term.
But anyway, but yes, Ghost Kingdom definitely we're bringing it to the Summit.
Yeah, we hope to be able to view it one night, right?
We're going to view it one night and
Yeah.
also have Brian and Brian's only super style of his nice Q&A afterwards.
Yeah, I
So
can't
you can
wait.
learn all about it. It was really cool because that he filmed that during COVID.
Really?
Yes, on his phone.
Those
There's a
iPhones.
story behind that too, guys. It's really
Oh, well, you'll have to come to the summit to hear it.
yes, absolutely. And
So-
that's March 30th.
Yeah, March 30th, we're having the registration, and Brian, along with Corey Goodrich, who had an MPE, she's an actress, a singer, and an artist. I won't tell you too much about her history, but she found out her dad was an artist. And so she started painting, and her paintings are phenomenal. They're so beautiful. You can see her on Facebook, see some of her paintings. They're amazing.
And we're having a lot of artists there too, right?
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of musicians. Yeah. And then, and Corey also has a show that she's done, and it's great. And then Erin Maya, who's on the Right to Know board, who's donor conceived, she's been working on a musical about her discovery. So those 3 are going to work together and make something amazing for us. And you all get to see it Thursday night.
For the very first time.
Very first
I mean, think about that. They've got all this time to create something really special where we're going to bring these 3 communities together just for you.
Yeah. I mean, first time ever.
First time ever.
I'm so excited.
Epic.
Epic. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And then, so that's Thursday. And like I said, we're going to have drinks. Cheers.
Cheers.
We're gonna have drinks and hors d'oeuvres, and then we're gonna see some shows. Y'all can register. And then Friday morning, you can get up and do some yoga if you want.
Or Tai Chi.
Yeah, Tai Chi on Saturday,
Saturday.
yoga on Friday, first thing in the morning if you're up for it. And if not, sleep in, that's okay. And then
Hot breakfast too.
food's good here too. I had breakfast here and it was really good. So
Super.
that's good. That's why we're here, just to make sure it was all good for y'all. Look, I said y'all. Did I do that? We don't say that in Seattle. So then we're gonna have, oh, that's right, Paquita Times.
Oh, Bikini Times. Get ready to laugh and have a great time.
We're going to end Friday night with a comedy routine with Paquita and Laura High. She's donor conceived and she is hysterical. I can't wait for y'all to hear her.
So we're gonna do an icebreaker. Paquita's gonna help us.
She's going to MC.
Yeah, I'm so excited she's coming. Who doesn't want a good MC, right? That makes the event so much more fun. She's gonna really bring us along.
Absolutely. Get us all fired up and ready to go.
And then we're kicking it off with a bang with a panel, one from each of our communities. And if you've noticed on our social media, we've been posting about who these people, we haven't told you their names.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But that's coming.
That's
I'm
coming.
going to make the announcement.
Yeah. Well, so we've been posting, check out our social media. You'll see clues about who these 3 panelists are. We'll have more to talk about that later. But we have 3 panelists, one who's an adoptee, one who's donor conceived and one who had an NPE. And they are going to talk about their impacts of their discovery, what happened when they first discovered, and where they're at now.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited for that. I just can't believe it.
And that's where we're still on Friday.
We're on Friday.
We're
We
still
haven't
on
even got
Friday.
that
My
far.
gosh, we haven't got ready to talk about all the goodness that's coming.
But you can bring your significant other to the
Oh,
conference.
you can?
Yeah,
Are we doing anything special for them?
we absolutely are. We're going to have a special just for significant others. And our favorite person who brought us together. Let's talk about
Oh, Leslie. Oh, yes.
Leslie McKinnon, for y'all who don't know.
For all of you that don't know Leslie, which many of you do,
Yeah, I
Leslie
think
Tate
everyone
McKinnon was the one that introduced Kara and her organization Right to Know with Marcie and her board with the National Association of Adoptees and Parents. And this summit was actually Leslie's dream. She had the idea, she had the vision of there's so many commonalities in these three communities and how powerful and how strong we are when we stand together. And it was her idea. So she introduced us over a year ago.
Mhm.
We've all become friends. We've been working together, and here we are in Louisville, Kentucky tonight, bragging about this wonderful event that's going to happen in 2023.
I love talking to Leslie. I mean, Leslie's
We
amazing.
love Leslie.
And Leslie's going to have a presentation on her own. We're not going to disclose yet what that is, but she'll definitely talk. So Leslie brought us together. Leslie keeps us together. Leslie's definitely the backbone of it all.
She is.
I love her. The heart and soul.
So you'll get to meet Leslie as well.
I'm so excited for everybody to meet Leslie. She's one of my favorite people in the world.
And for those of you that struggle with y'all, she's got it down.
So we're going to have a significant other track, and her husband, Bill, is going to have a special session just for significant others.
And why do you think that's important that we offer that? I don't think I've been to an event where somebody's offered anything for the significant
Me
others.
neither. Me neither. I don't think people understand the impacts, like what this.
Wow.
I know my husband, he was super supportive, but after a while, it gets to be a bit much to hear me talk and talk and talk about my discovery.
But we know that all of the events that we've been through, all of the trauma that a lot of us have experienced, it affects not just us, but our families.
Oh, I always say it's a huge, people don't understand the ripple effects because we're usually adults when we make these discoveries, although some people do grow up knowing they're donor conceived or adopted or they have a different dad out there. But when you make that discovery, you're usually an adult, you've built your family. So ripples in your family you created, ripples in the family you grew up with, and then your genetic family.
Layer upon layer upon layer. It's the ripple effect.
No wonder we need a summit.
No wonder we need a summit. And we need you here in Louisville, Kentucky, March 2023.
Absolutely. So we were talking about Thursday on the 30th, and then the 31st, we were talking about, we're going to have our keynote panel, and then we are breaking out and the significant others get to go do their thing.
In their
with
special
Bill.
little room.
Yeah. And then we have a panel discussion that day. So you all get to choose. We have so many people who are presenting. You get to choose from 5 different options.
I was just getting ready to say, don't we have 5 to choose from?
Yeah.
Not just 1, not 2, but we have 5.
5.
Something there for each one of you in all 3 communities.
Absolutely. And we get to share it with each other.
And we get to share it with each other.
Of course, there's lots of time to hang out too.
Oh, wow. Speaking of that, outside of this beautiful facility that we're in right now, downstairs in the bar, with the dining room over here, there's lots of room outside with fire pits, lawn furniture. There's a lot of little private spaces and where we can all get together because I know in the adoption community how we are. Sometimes we're even late coming to the workshops because we're still connected outside because we want to spend that time with one another. So you're going to have plenty of time for that.
Plenty of time and space because this space is phenomenal. There's so many comfy chairs, little nooks to sit with your friends and chat. I love it. So we have lots of panels. Our panels are going to have 3 or 4 speakers.
3 or 4 speakers, that's right.
And time for question and answers. So we'll list our schedule later. You'll see the schedule on the website, which is untanglingourroots.org, and tickets will go on sale in early fall.
September.
Yeah. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to have an early bird special, right?
Yes, we got the early bird special, and we're limiting that to only so many tickets.
Yeah.
Because actually, we talked about this, and we really feel that this it's going to be sold out.
I think
So
so too.
there's going to be a limited number of tickets for this first time ever epic event. So
Mhm.
you want to pay attention. So if you're not following us on Facebook, Untangling Your Roots, you need to follow us there because we make a lot of announcements there. We'll start doing a lot of lives too.
Yeah.
I like to do those.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll do more lives. Yeah, absolutely. So, and then we have our website. It's not built out yet for registering, but soon
that's coming on.
it's
and
coming soon.
Gorgeous.
I
by
mean,
the way. Gorgeous.
Heather with Janice is amazing. She's donated her time and they are a fabulous web design company. Heather's donor conceived and she's been designing our web page for us. And I can't thank her enough. I mean,
She's just done a fabulous job.
it's one of the best websites I've seen.
And you know what else we have to share is our corporate sponsorship packet.
Great.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
We are going to have that available on the website. You can download it. If you know anybody who's interested in sponsoring, we have all sorts of different options. You can ask your friends, your local business, anybody, and they can sponsor. You know, and there's inexpensive sponsors. I think it starts at $125 and then it goes up.
I mean, I could do it as an individual,
Yeah, absolutely.
like a coffee break maybe,
Yeah.
or my coaching business.
A coffee break or get this, you guys. You know, we're going to be talking about some heavy stuff, right?
We are,
And sometimes that can be triggering.
absolutely.
So
But
we
we got you.
yes, we do. What are we doing?
We're doing a lot of things. Absolutely. One thing that we're definitely going to do, we're going to talk about the quiet room.
Yes.
We have a and we're going to have therapists.
We have so many amazing volunteers.
Oh my gosh. And that room will be staffed with professionals all day long.
Yep.
So if you're feeling anxious, you're triggered,
Mhm.
emotional,
Mhm.
happy, joy, sad, whatever, again, we got you. We're going to have this room totally just for you.
We rented a little room that's just for the therapists. They volunteered their time. They'll be there for you if you need them for whatever it is. I think it's just amazing.
It is. It's absolutely amazing. And you know, we have to think about that. You know, if you've never been to a conference or a summit of anything of this nature,
Wait a minute. How many summits have you guys, conferences have you guys done?
we have done 5.
Because this is our first conference, but you've done 5. So you know this happens, right? Yeah.
What happens? Well, what happens, especially at the end,
Mhm.
okay, we find out that a lot of people they don't want to go home. They don't want it to end. It's like it's like the day after Christmas. But what we've done is we have 2 individuals. One is an adoptee and one is the first mom. But they specialize. They studied and they came together and did a workshop on how to get together and how to decompress and how to be able to get back on that plane and go home.
Should we ask them to close off our conference?
Oh, I just thought that was really a good
I
idea.
think so
Well,
too.
we could do that. And maybe, isn't there a therapist too that EMDR?
And I think she might have an MPE. God, that
Oh,
might
wow.
round out the 3
There
communities.
we go. There
I
we
know,
go. There's our 3
exactly.
communities. And we have a surprise, engaging exercise at the end to make you feel centered, loved,
Rejuvenated,
validated,
ready to,
empowered.
yeah, empowered. Absolutely. I'm so,
We're so. Can
I
you
know.
tell we're
I know,
psyched?
we can't wait for you to see you all here so we can all get together. I mean, if you guys have half as much fun as Marcie and I have had these past few days, it's going to be phenomenal.
Absolutely. We want all of you there. And we're here for you. You can reach out to either one of us or any of the board members. If
Marcie,
you have
what's
any
your
questions,
email?
mine is Marcie, MARCIE @napunited.org.
And mine's Kara. It's with a K, KARA @righttoknow.us. And that's right, like my right, RIGHT, my right to know. So we have the therapy room, which I think is amazing. I wouldn't have thought of that. Marcie suggested it, and I think it's so great. We're renting a special room just for that. So I feel really good that we have a space for that because I know it can be lots of, I'll be going along, life's fine, and then all of a sudden something happens and I'm
Something
triggered.
happens.
Yeah, it can be unexpected too. So I'm excited about that.
And you know what else? And we can't give ourselves enough self-love and self-care, right? What are we going to do about that at the summit?
Oh, so we not only, so we have the panels we were talking about, we have panels with 3 to 4 speakers and question and answer. We also have individual speakers. We mentioned, we gave it away. Leslie's going to be speaking in one of those. But we also have these sort of therapeutic healing workshops. I am so excited for those.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we might even make a few calming bottles.
Yes.
Calming water bottles. Have you seen those? Have you been in?
That's a great idea. I like that.
We might even do.
We can have a conference scent.
Oh, a conference center. There you go.
So we have our therapeutic workshops, but we also have some creative workshops.
Oh, yes, the creative workshops. These are going to be awesome. Okay. Many of us love telling our stories, right? Love telling them. We love writing them.
Any type of writing, I think.
I think all inclusive.
Lots of writing, art. I mean, for me, I know that art is a great way to express myself. And you don't have to really worry about it because it's art for you. You're not trying to impress anybody. So we'll definitely have art.
What about poetry?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, did you write a poem?
I have written a poem. So Marcie and I were talking. It might be fun. You guys should let us know what you think. Actually, email Marcie or I. I really want to do an open mic during our hors d'oeuvres and happy hour, like our hors d'oeuvres and drinks. And I think it'd be fun to hear your poems. I have one to share about the little girl inside of me. And Marcie, you've written one, right?
I've written 3.
Uh-huh. Do you have anything?
One about choices that applies to all of us, and one that I wrote the 2 days after I came home from the hospital with no baby and alone.
It's an amazing poem. You all have to hear it.
But we just want to be there for you. Open mic. And it doesn't just have to be poetry. You might have a song you wrote.
A song?
Sing.
Yeah. Or you might just want to tell your story for 5 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah. I think that would be really fun. Y'all let us know what you think. Email us if you have a poem or a story or a song you want to share.
Absolutely.
I think that would be fun.
Oh, it's gonna be so much
I
fun.
can't believe it. And part of my problem is I want to go to everything. Like some of the panels, the creative workshops, and the therapy, the healing workshops that we have, or the speakers. Oh my gosh, there's 5 choices. I have to choose one. What am I going to do about that?
What are we going to do?
We have the option. If you want to add on, you can buy a digital version. Now, we're not going to record everybody, but we're going to have our presenters pre-record what they're going to be talking about. So we know you have to choose one, which is really going to be hard. It's hard to choose your favorite. But once you make that choice, you can go ahead and add on the digital copy. And so then you can watch the presentations of the other speakers at that time slot.
Wow.
I know, right?
That would be
Right.
very helpful.
And of course, if you attend the conference in person, you get a discount for that. Yeah. And for those of you who can't come, we'll be having that separate too. If for some reason you can't come, but we want you to come.
Absolutely. And folks, I mean, I know I've attended a lot of conferences, summits over the years, and we have to brag for a few minutes because we've pulled out all the stops. We want to make sure it's going to be like none other. It's going to look and feel totally different than most conferences, summits that you've been to before. And again, we want to be there for you and just offer you this huge smorgasbord of our leaders in the adoption community, as well as
And in the MPE community and the assisted reproduction community,
because together we are,
untangling our roots.
and we are stronger together.
Together. Oh my gosh. So Marcie, I'm curious why you thought the summit was so important for your organization to participate in.
Let's go back and let's talk about that for a few minutes. I mean, again, we've shared the fact that there's so many commonalities between the 3 communities, and while we have differences, together we are stronger. It's the sharing of stories. It is the unity and community that NAP boasts about all the time. Is how by uplifting our voices, elevating our voices, sharing our stories, that we can become stronger and we can get our message out and we can reform these 3.
Well, we can unite these 3
We can
communities.
unite. Well,
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I feel like Summit is so important because, you know, the adoption community has been at this for a while.
decades.
Yeah. And the
decades.
assisted reproduction communities, I mean, y'all been around for a while, but you've been starting to have your voices come out. And the MPE community is starting to be in that space too. And I just know that if we want to impact change, we want society to understand that it is a fundamental human right to know your genetic identity.
And we're not going away.
We're not going away. And we make up 5% of the population. So for me, I really feel like we need to unite because I feel like the rest of the world is going to listen to us more together.
Together.
Yeah. And while there are differences in the communities, I know there's so much commonality.
That's the key right there. And, again, we don't want to, your community doesn't want to have to recreate the wheel. They
No.
can learn from the decades of work that the adoption community has done.
Yeah.
And we can learn from you as well.
Yeah.
We raise our voices together. I mean, it could be anything from legislation, which is important in all three communities, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we talk about counseling and therapy, our healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of healing journeys, we talk about journey mates. We haven't talked about journey mates.
No.
And how we're going to help you. If you don't have a journey mate in your story, if you're not able to have a support system, we'll find you one.
Yeah, we have mentors. That's what we call them at Right to Know, Journey Mate and NAP. But I mean, if you need someone to help you through your journey, we got you.
We got you there too.
Yeah, email us. Yeah.
It's all about you guys. And we just think that we've done an excellent job putting all these amazing people together to share story and uplift and support one another.
I can't wait to hear your all story when you're here. I mean, I can't wait to meet everybody, right? So for the COVID's been here, right? Unfortunately. So for like 2.5 years, we've only seen everybody on the TV screen. I mean, I love Marcie, but she's fabulous in person, right? And I just met you only online.
That's right. We met over a year ago
Mhm.
online.
And meeting in person is so much fun. And so it would be great for you all to come and meet in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've been together, a lot of us. Some of us that have attended a lot of conferences every year. We know COVID, you just, knocked the wind, our sales, we just knocked the wind out of us.
But some great things came out of it, like happy hour, right?
Wow,
Hello, happy hour.
Yeah. If you haven't been to one of my happy hours, you have to come and join us on a Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we elevate all types of voices. NAP, you kind of look at NAP as a universal platform for all organizations and the voices of individuals in all three communities.
You know what I think unites us, Marcie, is both your organization, NAP, the National Association of Adoptees and Parents, for those of you who don't know, and Right to Know, is that you and I both feel very strongly about empowering and uniting and promoting other organizations that help the communities, right?
Yes.
And I know you featured us and other NPE and DCP people and organizations,
Yes.
and we feature everybody on ours. So I think that's something that's really strong about the two of us.
It's really, that's what I think is so, we always say on Friday nights, there's a special magic that takes place. And who would have thought it after 2.5 years that all of you continue to show up every Friday night? I mean, I'm amazed. 9 countries.
You have 9 countries.
9 countries are following us
amazing.
and showing up. And
So if you live in a different country, come to the summit, and maybe we can say we have 9 countries coming for the
there
summit.
you go. And if you want to be a guest on Happy Hour, you can reach out to me too.
Oh, that would be fun. It's fun to be a guest with Marcie.
Well, maybe we should do a live Happy Hour at Summit. We talked about that a little
Yeah.
bit. Maybe we will.
I think we should, because that's Friday night. We might just do that. So there's so much going on. So like we said, we'll have lunch. Of course, everybody gets lunch. You get lunch when you come to the summit. And during lunchtime and during our breaks, we'll have snack. I mean, we got to feed you, right? So there's snacks. And of course, there's coffee, water, soda, all. Okay. I learned in Louisville, they say pop. Where I'm from, we say soda. So maybe I'll just say soda pop.
Across the bridge, we say soda as well.
We have soda pop, tea, coffee, water all day. We'll have snacks in the afternoon, lunch, and y'all be able to choose. If if you're gluten free, don't worry about it. We got you.
We got you.
Yeah, if you're a vegetarian, we got you. So it's all okay. And I tend towards keto, so we got you if you're more in that area too. So we'll have snacks, but during those break times that we have, there's a lot that people can do, right? Besides hanging out with each other.
This is pretty special too. I mean, we're going to have a lot of tables set out outside the general session room. We're going to have authors, podcasts. You can buy books,
Right?
workbooks.
And maybe, just maybe, you might be able to find the author of that book and get him to sign it. Maybe, yeah, that might be kind of fun. But it's not just authors. Oh, that's right. Wait a minute, before I move on, what's the name of your book?
Shoebox effect.
I've read her book, and it's a signed copy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a fabulous book. If you haven't read it, y'all should order it, or you can get one when they come, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then Marcie can sign it for you.
Be happy to.
Yeah, that would be great.
We all have shoeboxes, right?
I know I've got mine.
We have some of us have several.
Yeah, exactly. So besides authors, which we have Leanne Hay, who wrote the MPE guide. We'll have Peter Bonney, who wrote Uprooted. And we have our 3 keynote speakers. We're not telling you their names because you got to
Not
figure them out. Not
yet,
yet.
not yet. It's
Well, really, our
coming.
4 because
It's coming.
so we didn't go on to Saturday. But before we do that, I want to talk about. So it's not just authors. Who else can they meet?
Podcasters.
Podcasters. I love a good
Yes, and not just one.
No, we'll have several of your favorite podcasters there.
Several of your favorite podcasters.
And they're so much fun in person.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun in person.
Now you invited somebody. What was his name?
Damon Davis.
And what's
Who
his,
am I really?
who am I really? Oh my God, that's what I feel like.
Yeah, check that out. That's a happy hour episode in November of
Is it?
2021. I was in Cape Coral, Florida, poolside.
Really?
We had a really good time. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
We'll
much
have
fun.
several podcasters there that you can meet, and many of you have been guests on a lot of these.
Podcasts? Oh
Podcasts,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think so many people probably have been on
Yeah,
podcasts.
yeah.
Lily Wood, MPE Stories. That's a favorite for most
Yes.
people. When we did our study, that was the #1 podcast. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sex, Lies, and the Truth. That's a big one. MPE Story. I mean, there's just so many.
There's so many.
Alexis. I mean, who doesn't want it? Alexis is so much fun. I love Alexis. Who doesn't want to meet
I'm not sure.
podcasters?
But again, there's going to be something there for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. For everybody. Okay, so we were talking about Friday. We'll have panels, creative, healing therapy, speakers. And then Saturday, we'll have Tai Chi like we talked about.
In the
And-
morning,
yeah,
early.
Early for those of you who get up early. That's maybe not me, but Keita will still be our beautiful, amazing MC. And then we have a plenary speaker who, okay, sometimes truth is crazier than fiction, and this person's story definitely fits that. Yeah.
Wow. And how fortunate we are to have this person.
Oh my gosh, I feel so blessed. I can't believe he's coming to talk.
I cannot believe it.
I know.
either.
You'll have to guess who
Wow.
he is. So he's going to talk. And then again, we have 3 different sessions that day. You can choose. There'll be a creative therapeutic session, a speakers session, and a panels session. Of course, lunch and snacks and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll close. And as we were saying, we're going to have this amazing closing activity for everybody. So we can come away feeling rejuvenated and ready.
And you know, this at a summit, at a conference, you know, we say this a lot too, is you're never going to be meeting old friends, but you're going to be making a lot of new friends.
Absolutely.
And these relationships just, they continue to grow over the years and they just deepen. And so we're bringing it all to you here, this beautiful city of Louisville, Kentucky.
And this
so
fabulous venue. I mean, and we stayed in the
It's
rooms. The
beautiful.
rooms are gorgeous too.
We shopped around for a really, really, really long
Yeah,
time.
we did.
And obviously there was a lot of things that we wanted to do that we were not able to do to try to keep the price just so everyone can afford to attend.
Most people understand. I mean, you're paying for food, you're paying to get some of the speakers here. Although most of our speakers, I can't believe it, most of our speakers are volunteering their time. They're purchasing a ticket just like you.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're paying their own way to get here. They're paying for their hotel. So thank you to our lovely cadre of speakers, presenters.
So many people have volunteered and
Like-
and stepped up.
Like you said, 40 plus speakers.
40 plus. I don't even think I've been someplace where there was 40 plus speakers.
It's amazing. And they're all amazing speakers.
All amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We're going to have the DNA discussion project here. I mean, I love Dr. Foman. She's one of my favorite speakers. So I just think, I mean, you can't get enough when you're here.
Hey, and by the way, too, you don't have to, as another thought, don't we have media?
Oh, we might have a few media people here.
A little bit, publicize
Yeah.
a little bit. So you might see yourself on TV.
You just might see yourself on TV, or you might be asked for an interview.
That's right.
Only if you're public, though, because we also like to take really good care of those of you who are not out about your discovery. So we hold your secret and trust. You know, we're only open about those of you who are ready to be open all the time. That's important.
Safe space.
Safe space. We absolutely want to provide a safe space.
Safe space.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess we're on break. What'd you guys take so far? Anybody have any comments? It's so much fun. Wasn't it fun? Somebody take themselves off mute and make a comment.
I really am so looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
Anybody else?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm just listening to when if Damon is there, I will be in tears just meeting him. I mean,
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was so much fun. I mean, none of that was rehearsed. It was just all, we just were having a conversation about what it looked like. And we just wanted to share that with you and, share that excitement. And I think there's more to come. Is Jennifer, we have more, right? After the break? Yeah.
Yes, we do.
We filmed in 3 different places. It was just so much fun.
you need to work some of that into the promotion of it because,
Okay.
oh yeah, there was a lot of good parts in there that you
Yeah,
could.
if you guys have ideas, stick them in the chat room.
I thought
Yeah,
the
let us
same
know.
thing, Lori, that I hope that bits and pieces or all of it, oh Lord, I have a dog taking my computer, should be somewhere on the site or something so we could have access to them and share them.
But you guys got the feel for it, right? It's not your typical conference like you've attended in the past. It's something really unique and special. And we wanted to load it up because we wanted to have as many presenters as possible, those entertainers. Let's just do it and do it right, right? Jen, what's next?
I do have a question here that was asked right before we hit the play button. And it was, wanted to know if we're going to be offering CEUs for this summit.
We are. There'll be more to come on that. Yes.
So are we ready to go back and dive back into?
Are we ready, guys? If so, say yes, yes in the chat bar for me. Yes, yes. I want to see them. Come on. Who's first?
All righty, here we go. Let me.
Thank you. Lori, Suzanne, and Bob, Mary.
Hang on a second. I got to switch the other video.
Yes, yes.
There we go.
Thanks, Jen.
Oh yeah, no problem. I just had to switch videos. Now I got to find the other video. Lord help me. Okay. Nope, not that one. It said it was the video. It lied. While I'm doing this, there's a question. There's a hand up. If you can find that, answer that while I'm getting this.
Take yourself off mute, Charlemagne, and ask your question. Or wait. We can wait. You ready to go, Jen?
Yep.
Okay, we'll hold it. Lily, Charlemagne, let's hold off in just a second.
We're upstairs and we're going to be on the 2nd floor mostly for the summit. And we're really excited to be up here. This is such a great space. We have all our classrooms up here and the space for the quiet room. So that'll be great. But I wanted to just take a minute because I know some of our people who are watching and listening might know about NAP and some might know about Right to Know, but maybe people might be a little bit like unsure about both. So I'm curious, Marcie, you co-founded NAP, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So what prompted you to do that? What brought you to
Well, I think to do the story justice, we kind of have to go back to the beginning.
You always
So,
start in
yeah,
the beginning.
yeah. So indulge me while I kind of tell the story. My whole adoption journey began in 2008 with a rediscovery of a 30-year-old shoebox that was in my closet. You see, I'm a first mother in reunion, and I found a shoebox that I had made.
So I'm going to ask you, first mother. I think that might be a term not everybody's familiar with. So what does first mother mean?
Well, some of you might say birth mother.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but I like to identify as first mother because I was my daughter's first mother. I created her. I
You carried
carried her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
like
mine. So yeah, I'm her first mother.
I love that term.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
it too. So anyway, it all started with the rediscover. I was just, living the dream, the American dream, having my own life. But I rediscovered a shoebox that I had made in 1978, and I had carried all these years, or like 30 years.
We're the same age, 1978.
And it was my box of pain when I came home from the hospital with no baby. And it was my youth, my young self trying to, because I had no support and there was no one there. I was trying to heal myself, or like, how was I going to go back to my life after I had surrendered my baby to adoption to strangers. You know, it's like who does that? It all started with finding the shoebox. And as the story goes, I mean, the birth father was my first love. I open the shoebox, I go back, I start thinking about, I never forgot her, I never forgot him. And within a few short weeks, I found him. And within 4 months, we were married. The birth father.
Okay.
And in 4 months, we were married. And 2 months after that.
And you all have never been married before.
No, we hadn't seen each other in almost 30 years.
Oh my gosh. So your daughter's 30-ish.
Yes.
And you guys
29 at the time.
reconnect and you get married.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I know who does that.
That's quite a love story.
It was a crazy thing. You know, when I found him, we reconnected. But anyway, we found our daughter by accident on Father's Day.
On Father's Day? Oh my gosh.
2008 by a stranger in Arizona.
Mhm.
I had posted something on her website and it was about my story, and she put her out. She was a search angel. I didn't even know what a search angel was.
By the way, we will have a search angel speaker component, just so you know.
And she called me that day and she had identified herself and told me that she had found my daughter. I'm like,
What?
You know, and I thought she's after money. But she told me who she was and the work that she did, and that she had I had written enough that she could start the search, and she put all her other cases aside because my daughter had been in a registry. And I'm like, registry? What's a registry?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? But we'll get to that later. But anyway, and 4 hours later, I was talking to my daughter.
Oh my gosh, that must have been amazing.
It was amazing. It was just, I can't convey the level of emotion that her father and I were both there on speaker. And
Hi, dear.
we flew her to Louisville, to the Louisville airport. And we
Somehow got this back on.
And that's,
I lost the audio when it went off in your car.
Oh, because
And she's still, I think they've got a few more minutes here that they're, I put my video on. Put it back on.
did you see, my personal physician solicited me for adoption.
Solicited.
In the 70s, that's what they did.
I don't think people really understand the pressure that women, even today,
Right.
are
right.
under.
It's still
Yeah.
pressure, coercion, manipulation,
Yeah.
gaslighting. It still is real.
Even today, that's so crazy to me that even today, women experience this.
Yes. But back then I was just, I listened to my doctor, and he over several, I hadn't even considered adoption, but over several visits, several exams, he had, when are you getting married? How's the nursery looking, Marcie? Who it will be watching the baby when you return to the workforce? Just certain things, he wanted me to think about it.
Did you say coercion?
Coercion.
Yeah, coercion. Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
So imagine
not a good thing, a good definition of what's happening.
Yeah. So imagine my surprise when I get the full story and find out that my own personal physician sold my daughter to a couple he went to college with.
Oh my gosh.
Who probably should never have been parents. Divorced when my daughter was 3 years old, and they slipped into the welfare system. So when we found our daughter, she was on welfare. She had given birth to 5 children by 5 different fathers. She was struggling. She was emotionally damaged in every possible way, and physically assaulted. And it was very, very difficult for me and I was new to everything. I was alone, everybody. I mean,
NAP didn't exist.
NAP didn't exist.
Yeah.
My education of the trauma that is involved in separation of mother and child, and what the adoptee goes, zero, zilch. I was alone. So when I got her story and I learned about the original birth certificate and the ABC, the amended one, her birth certificate.
ABC, so amended birth certificate.
Birth certificate.
Okay.
And then her birth certificate said she was born in a different city, in a different hospital. I was like,
really? They can change
What?
the city and hospital?
yeah, and dates and birth dates. And
Wait a minute. You can, I'm learning about the adoption community. I can't even imagine not knowing your actual birthday.
yeah. So that was pretty upsetting. I mean, there were so many things that were so upsetting.
Yeah.
But she had gone into the registry, which in hopes of trying to find me. So But anyway, in reunion, I got the whole story. And it was through hearing her story and I saw the life that she had, which was promised to me. It never came to fruition because she didn't even have a high school diploma. She was mentally, she was suffering on a very, very extreme high level, still living with the adoptive mom. Nothing was moving for her life, but she was just existing.
So many lies,
so many secrets that I knew I had to do something. And I started to do some self searching online. I started Googling about open records and I found that was different in each state. And
so there's not a universal law.
No universal law. And I wrote my state senator and I just basically said, this is, it's ridiculous. And what can we do? I would like to get a bill on the floor.
So did you manage to change the law?
I failed in my initial attempts. And then I joined up with another party who up north was trying to do the same thing. And we came together.
So united, you were stronger.
United, we were stronger. And we advocated for 9 years.
9 years. Wow.
9 years. And then
that's a commitment.
Then the law finally passed. And it wasn't a clean bill, but it gave access to those from 1941 to 1993. And but you would think that after that it was like, yay, victory, but the work just began because for me, all these Hoosier families would be going into reunion. And like me, they could be like,
I'm sorry. What's a Hoosier?
Hoosier. Oh, someone born in the state of Indiana.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm a proud Hoosier girl. So, we thought about all those families that needed resources and support and therapy, and they had all these questions. So how can we help them?
Yeah.
So we formed an educational resource called Indiana Adoptee Network. And we started out with our first conference in 2016. And we thought all these Hoosier families would show up and we had all these amazing speakers and workshops, And when people showed up, they represented 22 states and 3 countries.
Oh my gosh. So from the beginning, there was such an outcry for information, holding each other's space, helping each other through the process.
And think about this. We were called Indiana Adoptee Network.
But you had 3 countries. Indiana.
22 states.
That's amazing.
So we looked at each other and went, we've got something. There's a need here, right?
A big need, unfortunately.
And right away, we knew we had outgrown our name because we weren't Indiana Adoptee Network. We represented so many adoptees and moms and dads from across the nation and outside that were seeking help. They were seeking community, support, resources.
That's something I really love about NAP. You guys you don't just focus on the adoptees. You include adoptive moms.
Correct.
You include first moms.
Correct.
First dads.
Correct.
Adoptive dads.
Kept siblings.
Extended
family members.
It's so important because like we were saying earlier, this impacts everybody in the family.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why, for years, we had talked about changing our name for years and trying to give a better understanding of who we were. And the one thing that, we thought about the name was just had to be just right.
Yeah.
And we wanted it welcoming and it wanted to encompass who we were. And we know that I know there's a lot of adoptee only groups, a lot of first mother groups only, and that's cool and that's fine.
Well, sometimes people need that space.
But our mission, what we wanted was to welcome the entire constellation, because when we listen to one another, if we do not come together, if we do not listen to one another, how can we ever move forward?
Yeah.
That's not to say that we are the right organization for everyone, but we want to learn from one another. So it was important when we formed the name that we had no qualifiers on parents. That was really, really important to us.
When you say constellation, for people who aren't as familiar with the adoption world, what does constellation mean?
Constellation, a lot of times it's synonymous with triad. You hear the adoptee, the first family, or the birth family, family of origin, and the adoptive family. So that's your triad, that's your constellation.
And I think they moved from triad to constellation.
Constellation, yeah.
Okay, because it doesn't imply anything is more important.
So we just felt that it was just really important. I mean, Indiana Adoptee network served a purpose. It got legislation moving forward. Was it perfect? No. But did
I
it?
don't think any legislation's ever perfect. So
You know this.
yeah,
firsthand
I'm
too,
so
right?
glad that you guys made a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we really should pull the Band-Aid off across the United States. You know,
Absolutely.
we know that America is way behind the rest of the world.
Unfortunately.
But we were in that camp that there, I mean, we think about all the families and those mothers that did sign that they did, you know, the
It's
veto that
amazing.
they
The
did.
work you've done is
Yeah.
amazing.
So anyway, over a year ago, we decided to go ahead and change the name, and we became the National Association of Adoptees and Parents, also known as NAP.
I love it.
And we are known for being that universal platform that welcomes all voices in the adoption constellation. We want to elevate those voices and share those stories because it's through the telling of stories, it's through the listening of stories, the validation of your story that you shift from victim of being in the story to on it.
Wait a minute. In the story versus on it.
When you're in the story, you're stuck. You're in it. You have that victim mode. But when you share it, you're telling secrets. And remember, you know, shame cannot live once it's spoken.
That's so true.
It's a breeding ground. Secrets are a breeding ground for shame. But once shame, you out it,
it's gone. I mean, I think people from our communities, there's so much shame associated with being the product of an affair or when men are or women are infertile. I mean, I think shame is really a prevalent concept through not just people who are the product of these unique origins, but also the genetic parents and even the adoptive or raising parents, depending on which term you're using, because they feel some shame too that they didn't have a child of their own or you know, wherever that came from. I mean, I'm so glad that we can shed light on shame.
And, you know, it was through all of that, you know, like I said, the suffering of my daughter, I knew that I couldn't change the past and I could do the best to make it better, which, you know, there was a lot of things that I did. We actually ended up, I'm actually an adoptive mother because her father and I legally adopted her as an adult.
Wow.
Terminated the infant.
I want to pause.
Yeah.
So for most of you out there, what Marcie just said is she gave birth to a child and then she later had to adopt that child. Just think about that for a minute. That's just crazy to me.
And terminate the infant adoption. So my daughter actually has original birth certificate, an amended birth certificate, and now we've restored her birthright with her birth name, with the accurate information on her birth certificate.
I love that word, restored.
Restored.
I mean, it hits at my own heart.
So it was a beautiful thing for our family. Is it right for everyone?
No,
But
every story is unique.
Every story is unique.
Yeah.
That was our experience. That was something our daughter wanted her name back from what we had named her. So we took it a little bit further and kind of surprised her on her birthday and said, we would like to adopt you, not re-adopt, because we never
Didn't
people
adopt
get-
her in the
yeah,
first
we want to
place.
adopt you, terminate that infant adoption and restore your birthright. So you are who you, and the birth certificate that you have is factual.
Right.
The hospital you were born in, when you were born, the city you were born in. And it gave our daughter a sense of belonging and I matter and this is me and I exist. I just didn't fall out of the sky.
I think so many people in our communities can feel that way. I know I
Yes,
want a
especially in
sense
your
of
community.
belonging. I want a sense of restoring who I am. I think that's so important.
But it's so important. And, you know, that's why, you know, my journey, you know, it's I'm sharing the story from the very beginning because it's just so crucial. That's why I'm here. My daughter mentally can't share her story with all of you.
And not everybody's ready to share, and they may never be, and that's okay, right?
Yeah, but she wants me to be the voice for us. It's mom, go tell what happened to me, share the story, make a difference. Let's change adoption. Let's reform it. Everybody deserves to know who they are. So that's why I'm here. And that's why I've stuck with the work that I do in the community since 2008. That's why I'm still the president of NAP. And we offer a lot of resources and support groups for different, the birth families. We have adoptee pathways to recovery for those that suffer from addiction, like my daughter. We have Putting Yourself Together After Reunion by Dr. Joyce Pavo. And we're expanding those, and we're actually going to be starting an international program and some other things. So that's how NAP came to be. And it was not just myself, but Jennifer Fossing, who is the co-founder, and she's also an adoptee and a birth mother. So she has a dual role.
I'm just new in this adoption realm, but it seems to me like adoption, I don't mean to say it like this, but kind of runs in the family.
Yeah.
Jennifer's story isn't necessarily completely unique, right?
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
you guys are doing such amazing work.
Well, thank you.
And-
So are you.
Yeah, well, and Beth, we can't forget.
We
to
can't
mention
forget Beth.
Beth is amazing.
Beth is part of our executive team leadership, and she's a foundling
Mhm.
in Reunion. And
What-
Beth also has.
I have to ask you, what's a foundling mean?
Beth was left on a doorstep.
That's so heartbreaking.
Just left on the doorstep.
So
And
foundling, somebody found her.
Somebody found her, and she she was adopted by a very good family, but that's not even the point of why all of us are here. Many of us are here. It's not about the adopted family, whether they were good or they were bad, right?
And I'm sure nobody's all good or all good
No,
bad.
no, no, no. I mean, we're all here. We have many reasons why we're all here doing this work, but it comes down to we do also have a lot of similarities as to why we're here. Everyone deserves to know who they are, where they came from, truth and transparency, and the opportunity to share their story if they so choose to do so. They choose to do so. But that's kind of the story of us, and I'm still here, and I still want to continue
We're glad you're
to
still
share
here.
my story. I'm going to continue to share my story and talk to as many people as possible about truth and adoption and how we can reform it. And so I'll get to meet many of you at the summit. I'm so excited and can't wait for that. So
Me neither.
okay.
And our tagline or our byline is it's a fundamental human right to know your genetic identity. So we just can't echo that enough. For some people that's crucial to their identity. For some people it's a less crucial piece, but we all have a right to know it.
You have a right to know it.
Yeah.
And in our community, we say unity. We believe in unity in our community. We want a unified adoption community. And you think about that because we're all grieving. We've all experienced loss. You cannot grieve by yourself. You cannot experience a loss by yourself. It takes a full community to support you. And that's where we want to come in. And that's why we talk about the constellation and how we can learn and heal from one another.
And I want to take the unity in community and bring it to all of us.
Exactly.
Like unity in our three communities.
In our three communities. So
Yeah.
now we're raising the bar. We're elevating that.
So
So-
what's your three words again? Elevate, empower.
Elevate, educate, empower.
Elevate, educate, empower. Right? That's what we all need. To be elevated, educated, and empowered.
And we do that through community.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Marcie.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you. Let's talk about Right to Know and how Kara came to be the CEO and co-founder of Right to Know. Tell us your story.
Well, so Right to Know was created after 4 of us did an interview in Seattle, because I'm from Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, and I got asked to do an interview. And I wanted to show, it was about DNA surprises. So those of us who take an over-the-counter DNA test or a direct-to-consumer, a DTC, sometimes refer to it as tests like from 23andMe or Ancestry. Like what happens when you take those tests? That 5% who learn their mom their dad or their mom, because most people don't realize sometimes there's egg donorship, or you have an informal adoption or a late discovery adoption, right? Where people learn that mom also wasn't their mom. So we had a lovely gentleman, David Raitt, who's an adoptee from the Vancouver area, who attended the interview with us. And he never grew up knowing his ethnicity. He knew he was adopted, but he didn't really know much about who he was. And then Gregory was with us as well, Gregory Loy, and he's donor conceived. And he found out as an adult when he took an ancestry test that he was donor conceived. And then Alicia Weiss, who has a somewhat similar story to me, she did an over-the-counter test and found out her dad wasn't her dad, and she learned she was Jewish, which I also did. But for Alicia, I mean, she did her test so many years ago, it was a lot harder to identify genetic family. I feel like now we're doing much better and quicker at
Yes, we
identifying.
are. We
Yeah.
definitely are.
Yeah, especially with the help of DNA angels who are fabulous. You know, a DNA angel volunteers their time to help people find their genetic
Like
family.
what happened with my daughter. She was.
Yeah,
same thing.
exactly. Yeah. So we love DNA angels. Thank you all for volunteering. We hope to see you here at the summit because there's going to be so much, even for DNA angels, I think, to help with understanding. But so the four of us did this interview and we were talking afterwards at dinner about how there wasn't really an organization to advocate for our rights, all of our rights, adoptees' rights, donor conceived rights, and people like me who are the product of an affair. We have a right to know. It doesn't matter our origins. We all have a
correct.
right to know. We have a right to know for our identity and mental health, but for our medical history. I mean, so many of us are reporting the wrong medical history and it has life and death consequences.
Yes, it does.
It can, yeah. So we I co-founded Right to Know. The three of us founded Right to Know. And the name came from my raising father. After I had my DNA discovery and found out that he wasn't my father, I would visit him and he would say, "You have a right to know who you are." And that's where Right to Know came from.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So for me, I did an over-the-counter DNA test because I wanted to know where in Africa my raising family was from. Of course,
And you were planning a trip.
I wanted to take my kids to Africa. And of course, I didn't think of them as my raising family back then, right? And I know some people have a hard time with that term, raising family, birth family, genetic family. And when we use those words, we don't mean anything by them, but we have to distinguish with all the people who are involved
Exactly.
in making us and raising us, creating us. So a raising mom is just as important as a first mom or a birth mom or a genetic mom. So I did my test. I expected to find out where in Africa to go because, you know, when you're a slave, when you're from slavery in the United States, you don't know where in Africa you're from. But I had zero African DNA. Zero. I wasn't half black
How
as
did
I
you
thought.
process them?
I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't. It was really hard.
And you were alone.
I was alone. I thought, who grows up thinking they're half black? Nobody does. Nobody grows up thinking they're some ethnicity and then discovers they're not. I mean, how crazy is that? I felt alone.
And out there, we know that there's so many people just like you that are alone. They don't have resources. They don't have journey mates. They don't have, and they think they're totally alone and there's nobody out there that understands them. But we know that that's not the case. Right?
No, and it's probably true that it's more likely they're not alone, right?
That's right.
Right.
Because of those facts that we talked about
Right,
earlier.
exactly.
That
Yeah.
data.
There's
Right.
so many people who probably have this discovery. And so I found some online Facebook support groups. And after we created Right to Know, we created resources for people. We have our mentor program, like you have your Journey Mate program. People having fun in the hotel.
And you also have some educational webinars where therapists can earn CEUs and
We have, so each month we hold a free webinar about different topics. They range from like legislation, epigenetics. I mean, that's a hot topic, nature versus nurture. We bring in professionals in their areas to talk, and those are free once a month. And then we have community and connection where we meet once a month with a therapist who picks a topic for us to talk about. But we also just recently, like you said, launched something that gives continuing education credits for therapists, because we found that a lot of people in our situation have found that therapists don't really have a good grasp of the impacts, because we were just saying the impact so much.
That's right.
Identity, our raising families, our genetic families, our families. So there's so much, our significant others. Yep. So we do that as well. And then we also work on legislation. I mean, for me, I'm a non-practicing attorney, so legislation is really dear to me. The birth certificate issue is a big one for my heart. But I want to see legislation passed that gives everyone a right to know their genetic identity, everyone to be created ethically, to be raised ethically. And I really feel like we need to be educating the public about
Absolutely
the impacts of this. Yeah.
So that leads me to, what do you hope that the outcome of this summit, the merging of these three organizations, what is your hope in the outcome?
I think so we have so much in common with our three groups. and we're 5%'s a lot when you count us all together, but individually we're not, we're less, right? But together we're more. And I think that that's really what's important. We may not agree on all the specifics and all the individual stuff, and that's okay. It's okay to disagree. But we all have a commonality in trying to ensure that our voices are heard. And so we need to raise each other up. That's
our goal for the summit.
Yeah. We need to raise each other up.
And we need you there. Hey guys.
Hi, we're back. We just wanted to close with talking about our giveaway.
The giveaway, yes.
Yeah. What are we giving away?
I think we're giving away 1 free ticket to the summit.
1 free ticket to Summit?
Yes,
Oh
we
my
are. But we have a little extra, not quite an exercise, but we have criteria
Right.
in order to qualify for the Enter to Win.
Right. You have to do something. You don't just get a free
we're just not
ticket.
going to give you a ticket.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
So first of all, let's talk about where and what you have to do.
Okay. So over the past few weeks, we've been posting on our social media account, on the Roots Summit social media account. Although I think NAP and Right to Know has been sharing those posts too.
Right.
So just so you know, our handle, our social media handle is at Roots Summit 2023. So that's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Oh my gosh, we got the same one for all of them.
Yes, we do.
Oh my gosh, so easy to understand and remember then. Especially for someone who doesn't do social media very much. Okay, so if you go to Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, you'll see some of our posts. We've been giving hints about our keynote speaker panel that has 3 speakers, someone with an NPE, a donor conceived person, and an adoptee, and then our plenary speaker, whose story is
fabulous,
crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Fabulous, crazy. Truth is better than fiction story.
That's right.
Right, exactly. You'll never believe it. I read their story and was just
blown away.
Blown away. Yeah, exactly. So if you look, there's been clues. So what are those clues? Who's the stranger in my jeans?
Who is the stranger in your
I don't know. They'll have to go and figure that out.
We got to find that out.
Right. And then we were talking about our true identity.
True identity.
Yeah. Who wrote about their true identity? Better figure that one out. And then we're talking about also brave new human. And then my daughter. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's your 4 clues. Go look at the posts. Once you know who those 4 people are, we've told you at least one is a donor conceived person, one had an NPE, and one's an adoptee. You can figure the 3rd one out, because I feel like that person crosses the communities.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. So send the names of those 4 individuals
to me, Marcie, at MARCIE at napunited.org.
And you could win a free ticket to Summit.
That easy, folks. And we're going to be making an announcement on a special happy hour on Friday, September the 12th.
Okay, so they have 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I mean, if y'all can't do your homework, you can figure this out. It's not that hard. Yeah, 2 weeks. And you email Marcie, and then at the next happy hour, you can go ahead and Marcie will announce.
Yes. And you must be in attendance, right?
Yeah, you should be in attendance. You should email whoever it is up front that they need to be there.
Yes.
Yeah, just so they know, make time for it.
Absolutely. But you have a chance to win a free ticket, enter to win. We'll make that announcement on a live happy hour on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You must be registered on Eventbrite. So if you're not on NAP's email list, that's another reason to reach out to me personally.
We're going to be on the second floor
please
mostly.
Add me to NAP's email list,
and
we'll go ahead and send you out that.
What did you think, guys? Let me hear it in the chat room. It was so much fun, wasn't it?
Oh, we had so much fun, Marcie. That was a blast.
I know. It was just great, wasn't it? We just had a ball filming this for you guys, and we just wanted you to feel the energy. We wanted to let you know what to anticipate, and let's just talk about Summit. Let's get it on our calendars. Let's get it planned. Let's get ready to come to Louisville.
I can say it now.
Yeah, you can say it a lot of different ways, right? It depends on what type of bourbon you're drinking. But
And Kara, it's all y'all.
Yeah, all y'all.
You
Sorry.
get plural.
well, we talked about this. I told Cara, I said, if y'all can't say y'all the right way, we need to ask Leslie.
So does
So
anybody
we-
have any questions or anything come
Yeah.
up or anything like that?
It's just, yeah, who's got the first question? Lily.
You haven't had time to read it, but there's been a lot of chatting going on.
Well,
It's been
I'm
fun.
at my husband's conference, so I had to go do his little work thing. So I'm sorry I missed the first hour, but yeah, registration is not free. Tickets for the early bird special. Can I say how much, Marcie?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, will be $259. And then the price will go up later. And then if you wait until like a month beforehand, you're gonna pay a lot more. Lily, nice to see you, Lily. You look fabulous, by the way.
Thank you. I'm going out soon, but
I saw your new episode. I can't wait to listen.
Hi,
this is-
Lily.
Hi, you guys. This is fantastic. I'm really excited.
So
I'm gonna-
Lily, who are you first before you?
my name is Lily Wood. I'm host of a podcast called NPE Stories.
It's our favorite podcast. It's such a great podcast. If you guys haven't listened to it yet.
Thank you. Thank you.
ahead. Sorry.
I'm really excited for this event and I want to start announcing it and posting about it on my Facebook, on the NPE Stories Facebook page. But I wanted to know, what would you prefer? What would be easier for information? Would it be the untanglingourroots.org link, or is there like a Facebook event that I read?
It is on the Facebook page. The Untangling Our Roots page does have an event created for it. So Janice, Heather, who's donor conceived with Janice Consulting, is creating this really in-depth website for us that will have every question that you ever had about Summit. I think they'll probably be done with it in about 2 weeks. Right now, it just has the speaker submissions, which are closed. We had such a fabulous response to that. So in a couple weeks, Lily, that would really be where I would direct people. But for now, the Facebook page would do. But in a couple weeks, and I'll let you know when it's a fully built out website.
Okay, so I'll do the Facebook event for now, and then maybe in a month or a few weeks, do the website, and I'll keep reposting like every month or so.
I love it.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. And you'll be there, right? I hope. I put you on the spot. Okay, good.
I will be there. Yes.
Good. Because
And
we want
just so,
you on.
yeah,
Oh,
I
sorry.
just dropped the link into the chat. It goes right to the Facebook page. So everybody's got that.
We have plans for you, Lily.
Yeah, we really worked hard on this registration fee, just to let everyone know. But we are bringing everything to one place for this time in Louisville, and you won't be disappointed. Correct, Cara?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was telling Marcie, I'm like, how am I going to know where to go? Which thing I get to watch at each time slot? Because there really is 5 different choices in each slot. And Marcie goes, honey, you're not going to be able to watch any of it.
We've done
You're
this
gonna be
enough.
too
You're just
busy.
going to be bopping around.
Yeah, you're gonna be too busy. I was like, darn, because I want to go to every single one of them, because everybody who sent in submissions the submissions were fabulous. We really needed like 5 days, Marcie, right?
Yeah, really, we really did. I mean, it's just been fabulous what we've received so far, and let's just do a little experiment right here, if you don't mind, Cara. I'm just going to throw this out here.
All right.
From when we did our first conference, the excitement that was there, we just had some great speakers, some great workshops, and I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, but I'm going to hit up Suzanne and Bob because they were there and they can talk about the atmosphere in the room, and Leslie can talk about it. So let's just take just a second to talk about that. I'll go with Suzanne and Bob first. Like I said, take yourselves off mute, and then we'll go to Leslie, and let's just kind of share a little bit about what that looked like and how that's going to roll into Summit.
I'm just going to say that the energy in the entire place, and kind of like leading, it was like the adoptee connecting tingle that you get in regular reunion, but it was just like having this community come together in this one spot. And every single workshop, speaker, event that was going on was so exciting and fantastic. But what was the glue of it that was so exciting was just like if you walked through the lobby of the event space, and there was just this whole community, and we took over the entire space.
We did.
I mean, it's like there was like these booths that we would like camp out in, and so there's always this like Brady Bunch lineup of of participants who were just there, and like, could you squeeze in and sit between this person or that person? And it was just thrilling, and it was so healing and rejuvenating and exciting and overwhelming and exhausting.
Yes.
And exhausting.
Okay, I just had to say, Marcie said that's true. So I found that picture of that kid after Christmas, flopped over.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me what it was like.
Yeah, and that's just it. That's that energy, those connections that was happening that first year. It was just phenomenal. And those relationships, you visit people, or you make these connections online, and then you actually get to see the real people, and then you forge these relationships. I mean, look, we met there at our very first conference. What was it, 2017? Was it 2017?
Yep. We figured that out in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we did, you show the good adoptee. We had the good adoptee there. This is just phenomenal. So you think about Summit, it's like that conference on steroids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And let me say that I was at your first conference, and I just remembered it sitting here, and I put it in the chat. I was one of the keynotes. I met some people I admired so much, and we were all, it felt like a new young wave came in. I met Haley Radke. I met Suzanne. I met Anne Heffron for the first time. I just finished your book. It was just one of those things of energy and connection right off the bat. It was
fabulous. So now we have these two additional communities to add to that. And now we have over 40 presenters and a keynote, not just a keynote, a Friday morning or Saturday morning keynote. We have a keynote panel, right, Kara?
Yeah.
And then we have a main speaker.
And they're coming from all over the world. I just find that just amazing to me. I'm so excited.
That's one thing that we were really tickled about, because again, when we had our first conference, we thought it was going to be all Hoosiers. And Jennifer, were we not surprised, right? 22, they came from 22 states and 3 countries, and we were like, what?
Okay, so that's a challenge right there, right?
Yeah.
Can we come from more than 3 countries? I think we're going to do that, because I know we have Canada, DC, and Australia. So we need one more.
Yeah, come on, we got to beat that. So anyway, we're just really excited, and we just wanted to give you guys just kind of a glimpse of this committee and their commitment to you and to these 3 communities, and how we're all going to come together in 2023, and let's just raise the roof, connect, engage, and let's affect change. So this is just something we wanted to share with you. If you've got any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us right now. Put them in the chat bar. Anybody else that has any other comments or that they would like to share, please feel free to do so. Do we have any pictures? Did we get those ready for tonight to share what we did for the last couple of days, Kara?
Just what I put in the video. So.
Other than drinking bourbon. You can't come to Kentucky without tasting bourbon. We did that.
I hooked somebody else, Marcie.
Yeah, that picture of what is it called? I can't even remember. What was it? $62 a bottle for. Jennifer took us she hooked us up on the bourbon trail to Rabbit Hole. Where else did we go?
We tried to go to Angel's Envy, which is one of my favorite bourbons. I don't know if you guys if anybody else is into bourbon, but it's a really good one if you haven't tried it. But when Jennifer and Beth and I were at the hotel, we went down to the bar, and she had an old fashioned, and she was teaching me about cherries. What are those called, Beth?
Oh, me. Yeah.
Jen, sorry.
Yeah, Luxardo cherries. But then we got a different version, but they're Italian maraschino cherries. They're very, very dark. they're not
Okay.
like the red plasticky ones you get at the
I
grocery
hate
store.
those red plasticky ones. Those things are fabulous. I went back with Marcie just to try one of those drinks. So when you all come to Summit, we all have to go for an old fashioned. I'm not normally a big old fashioned drinker, but this is a fabulous drink.
Yeah,
And those
yeah, it is.
cherries are phenomenal. They don't make them in the Pacific Northwest with those cherries, but I'm going to have to order me some off of Amazon and start down that road. Thank you, Jennifer, because now I'm hooked.
And I didn't stay, but Jennifer, Beth, and Kara did stay at the hotel to, try it out, the rooms, the feel. We visited, we're taking up a whole floor, and we may be going to a second one, right?
Yeah, they may have to
Because of
move
the
us because of so.
level of
Please
interest.
bring I'm sorry, I can't. I will say she did make me my own espresso that morning, and it was actually up to standard.
Yes.
The coffee, we're gonna have to talk to him about that. But if you get an espresso, it was really good.
Yeah. It's going to be a phenomenal time. And we just want to kind of give you guys just a little insight. I mean, we had a lot of fun this week, and we just wanted to invite you into just get a little bit of glimpse and start to chat about what's coming. And it's really special to us.
So everyone can be as excited as we are.
And I do see the comments about the coffee. They do have a Starbucks there at the bar. And that's where you can get your double shot of espresso. But yeah.
The espresso, I think that she made me wasn't Starbucks espresso because it was actually really good compared to the coffee, which I think was Starbucks coffee. That's just my 2 cents, being a
Maybe it was
snobby Seattle
Pete's.
coffee person.
Maybe it was Pete's. Yeah.
Is there anybody else here from the Seattle, like who's into coffee? Because yeah. So Jan, do you drink Starbucks? Yeah, exactly.
Jan says no.
What about
I
you, Lori?
ordered mine special from a company. I'm a real toot about it.
But yeah, there's all kinds of places. We made sure of it because we know from our past experience with all the conferences we've held that we know that the adoption community likes those little alcoves where they can get together between sessions and there's bonfires there and just little places where you can sit in and chat and connect. And we've got plenty of those at this hotel. So we did our homework. We worked really hard for a long time before we could find this venue. And again, it's just a short ride from the hotel, or excuse me, from the airport. So we want to get a head start on this because we're anticipating selling out over 300 tickets from what we've heard. Correct, Kara?
Yeah. Oh, I think we're going to sell out. So I was just answering the question. We do have, there is 100 early bird tickets. And then after the sales, we'll get all of the stuff. It's actually quite a complex system for the tech guys for the website. So you guys will have a login, so you can log in and choose your tracks, and there's capacity, right, for each room. So the early birds will let you guys know as soon as the schedule is open. So you'll get first crack at it because those rooms, some of them, only have 50, 60 people in them. Some of them have a little more. So some tracks may fill up more than other tracks. So we'll give you guys, the early birds will get first crack at those choices. But it will take her a while to design that process for people to be able to choose their different tracks for the weekend.
Yes, and I know on our side, Kara, that we're encouraging everyone, if you haven't already, to please follow Adoption Happy Hour on Facebook, because we're going to have the updates as they continue to roll out. And on your side, Kara, you want to give them where they can follow?
Sure. I mean, I actually created like a sign up for to get notices, and I actually, those of you who have signed up got an alert from me today about happy hour. So you can sign up here for alerts about Summit, and I will send out emails. It will just be Summit related emails if you sign up under that. Like, hey, happy, early bird tickets are available now. So Lily, you could use that if you wanted for people to sign up for information. And then I'll email, hey, early bird tickets are available. Hey, the tracks are open to sign up, that kind of thing. And we closed down our, my video, something happened in the very end, but We do webinars. We don't do happy hours. Marcy's way more ambitious than me. We do once a month webinars. So our next webinar will be in September, and we'll be talking about our donor conceived legislation that we just announced today. That is federal legislation. It's very comprehensive, and I know people have a lot of questions about that. We're going to be creating a federal registry. We're going to be creating limits on like limits on family size, minimum age for donors at the federal level. So we're really excited about that, but I know everyone's going to have questions. So you can go to our website and I'll have that event posted if you want to join us for that.
Thank you, Kara.
All right.
Okay, that's all that we have, unless somebody has any comments or questions. I'm checking here to make sure nobody has their virtual hand raised. We're just pumped about this. We just had, like I said, we've just had a blast this week, haven't we? Again, those dates, March 30th through April 1st, 2023, Marietta East, Louisville, Kentucky, Untangling Our Roots. The first ever 2 organizations coming together representing 3 communities. And we're just looking forward to an amazing time. And we're just going to be talking about this all the time in happy hour. So we appreciate each one of you and your continued support every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you that have joined us for the very first time, we've been doing this well over 2.5 years, and we have we're going to continue. We don't see any end in sight to this. So I just am amazed that I keep coming up with people that are here every Friday night for guests. So if you would like to be a guest on Happy Hour, I'd love to chat with you. Just reach out to me at Marcie, Marcie at napunited.org, or Jennifer.
Talking to you, Lily.
Are you Lily? Yeah, we're ready. Just reach out to I've got my calendar booked through September, but I'm starting to book for October. So if you'd like to be a guest, reach out to me and let's share your story and elevate your voice. And Lily.
Yeah, and Hariath is on here. They would be great guests for you to have. They do retreats for people who are donor conceived adoptees or people with an MPE all over the United States, actually. So they would be fun to have too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see who else is on here who would be a fun speaker. Oh, you guys have been on. She says that. Sorry.
Yes, they have. Yeah, we had them on as well. So, and we're not opposed to having repeat guests.
Oh, and Laura with DNA Angels is awesome too.
Yeah, things change, and we want to update and to update the community. So yeah, just feel free to reach out to us. But cool. It's just been a great week, Kara. I just loved having you here in my home and seeing a little bit of Southern Indiana, and you got to meet some of my family, and we just had a great time, and this is what it's all about.
Yep. Community.
That's
Couldn't
right.
do it without you all.
Yeah. Okay, that's a wrap for me. Jennifer, do we have any closing announcements before we depart? I know we ran over, but who cares, right?
Yeah, and I thought I had the graphic. I was so stressed about trying to get the videos to play. I didn't grab the graphic for our next guest, but I do want to, we'll talk about that in a minute. But for those of you who want to do a little road trip, or you happen to reside within a short driving distance of northeastern Indiana, this is just a 1.5-minute boat ride from where I'm at right now. We are going to have a mini meetup on September 30th because we're not doing our conference this year because we're putting all our time and energy into the joint summit with Right to Know. So we still wanted to have something that was more manageable where we could still get together and have a great time. So it is a Friday, Saturday event. Really reasonable, $95. The block of hotel rooms is gone, but our Beth, always thinking ahead as our treasurer, she went ahead and booked them all. So if somebody still needs a room, contact me and I can get you a room. But we have on Friday night, our own Barbara Robinson from our board is going to be doing the welcome. And we're going to be probably, out on this deck up here above the glass windows. It's a beautiful deck, overlooks the lake. We'll be doing that. And then Marcie is going to actually do our first ever happy hour with a live studio audience. There are plenty of places to do bonfires. We're going to be feeding you. We've got a charcuterie or all kinds of stuff. And then in the morning, we're feeding you breakfast. And then it's Dr. Joyce McGuire Pavo. And then it's Cynthia McGuigan. And then we have Oliver and Melissa to close out the day. Everybody's welcome to stay. Once again, this is another thing. Bring your family. There's horseback riding. There's tons of trails. There's 2 gorgeous beaches. You can bike. Like I said, I live around the corner. Somebody needs to go for a boat ride. I've got you. So we would love it if you'd like to come. You can find this on Eventbrite. You can find this on our Facebook page, and we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, the mini meetup is this is just something that we've done for the very first time, and it's more of a small, intimate setting. But we're looking at more about just being together and enjoying one another since COVID. So if you're in that northern Indiana, that tri-state area, and you'd like to join us, you're more than welcome. So yeah, Jen's offered to put up. She's got a lake house up there. She's not far from the park, and we're just looking forward to that as well. But yeah, we just appreciate each and every one of you. Again, your continued support, being here every Friday night. Right to know. Love you guys. Yeah, it's going to be what do you say? It's going to be epic. That's what we keep saying. So we love all of you. We wish you a happy week, and feel free to reach out to all of us. And if not, let's remember that next week is Labor Day weekend. So we're going to take a break from happy hour and enjoy time with our families. So we will not be having a happy hour next week, but we will be back on, what's the date, Jen? Is it the
9th?
The 9th. And I have the book right here because I'm reading it. We have Mary Ellen Gambuti. I Must Have Wandered. She's going to be joining us and telling us all about her journey and her latest book that's out. So you'll want to sign up for that. And I think Jen's already got the happy hour Eventbrite invitation set up. So we'll be seeing you then. Okay. Everybody, thank you so much. Peter, stay on. We want to chat with you before you go. Everybody have a great weekend and a great week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Have a fun night, Lily. You look great for going out.
Thanks, you guys. Bye.
And I think we could give ourselves a round of applause, Kara, our signature round of applause. We had so much fun filming that. Oh, it's great. Good night.